So understanding that people do things different is okay, as long as they're matched up. All right, so let's talk about some of the golf swings that are not conventional. I personally actually swing my driver like this, okay? And I love it, okay? It creates more speed for me personally. It gets my shaft to work better. What it does for me is if I went like this and started down, I have to finish my turn. And my problem is I'm quick, so I don't finish my turn, so it makes me want to not turn. I'd have to bump to get that thing back inside. And then I wouldn't turn, and I have a lot of problems at the bottom creating any kind of control. So for me to go up like this, give the full turn, it works very well. So when I look at that and I do one, and I come in here and I go over the top, and I hit one, okay, that is not conventional, but does that work? Of course it does. I would say there's a lot of different backswings that I've seen that work. I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't understand left bend. I didn't understand front bend and rotation and how they kept me centered, okay? I also didn't understand right here that I had to have my chest come up, because if it stayed down, I'd be back, okay? So everyone talked about staying centered, and I look at my shadow, and my shadow would always move off. So I figured, okay, I heard an easy way to do it would just be keep my shoulders at a right angle to my back line. So by doing that, I got in my actual spine angle and I just turned. I was on my incline right here. Boom, that was easy. But when I was a kid, I didn't understand that. So my shoulders would actually turn flat. And so my head would move off. So I learned to actually get my hips to move back this way. And then actually I turned from here and I actually got that thing to, believe it or not, work out pretty well. It was pretty ugly, but it worked, okay? You look at players with different wrist angles up top, you look at different backswings that are all working on tour. So is there a perfect way? Absolutely not. When you saw me go over the head and I drop it in, that's a completely different move, but it actually gets to the same place as someone like Berger, okay, who has a lot of actual form shoulder rotation and actually gets the club way out here, and then he shallows it out here and he turns beautifully. He's got one of my favorite golf swings, as Sergio does, okay? And they actually both lay it off up top, both have, you know, some flexion and some form roll, and I love it. You look at Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm's real short out here already, okay? All those things work. Then you look at some of the players who are across the line. They all can work if done correctly, okay? If they're matched up. So when I say I prefer a backswing, it's just if I'm gonna sit there and it's the first time I'm working with somebody, I'm gonna put them into some certain structure, okay? So they have something to work on. Am I gonna start them out like me? Or am I gonna start them out like that? Probably not, okay? But that doesn't mean it's wrong and I don't love it, because I do. I've got one of the most unconventional college players in the country right now, Matthew Wolff, who is the #1 freshman in the country, and his swing looks like this. So I would be a hypocrite if I said you had to keep it right at ball line, okay? So that would be the last thing I'd do. Also, you can even look at Dustin. I mean, he's got it up here. So there's a million different backswings we're seeing that are working. I wouldn't say a million, but lots, okay? And we're gonna also get into different players who are successful with some external trail, shoulder, and they're into AD here. And I also see some a little bit more over here who are successful. So we'll get into different players who are successful, but what is acceptable? They can all be acceptable if done right.